Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Yeshi Chanzom. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Tuesday, the 26th of January. Indian farmers breach historic Red Fort in huge protest against farm laws. Taliban delegation visits Iran to discuss Afghan peace process. And police protesters clash near PM's residence as Nepal political crisis deepens. And now for all the details. India on Tuesday put up a show of military strength and cultural diversity during a grain parade as part of its 72nd Republic Day celebrations. For the first time, a marching contingent and band of tri-services of Bangladesh also participated in India's Republic Day parade to commemorate 50 years of its historic liberation and Indo-Bangladesh diplomatic ties.
India celebrated its 72nd Republic Day with a grand parade exhibiting its military might and national culture amid coronavirus pandemic on Tuesday. India won independence from British rule on August 15, 1947, but it was not until January 26, 1950 that the nation declared itself a sovereign republic state with the adoption of its constitution. With no chief guest this year due to the pandemic, only a limited number of people were seen at Rajpath, an elegant lawn-bordered boulevard that connects the presidential palace to India Gate War Memorial, to see the country's military prowess and achievements. For the first time, a marching contingent and band of Bangladesh tri-services also participated in India's Republic Day parade to commemorate 50 years of its historic liberation. Meanwhile, the day was also marked with flag-hoisting ceremonies, colorful parades, processions and cultural events showcasing folk music and dance performances across parts of India.
इस दिन का मतलब ही यही होता है, सबसे बड़ी चीज़ की खुशी का दिन मनाया जाता है, बट हमारी कोशिश यही होती है हमेशा कि हम अपने कल्चर को प्रेजेंट करें, हमने अपने कल्चर को दिखाया। और जब भी हमने यहाँ पे किया, जो भी परफॉर्मेंस यहाँ पे किया, चाहे 26 चाहे 15 अगस्त को, बस हमारी कोशिश यही रहे कि हम हमेशा अपने कल्चर, अपनी तहजीब और अपने कल्चर को लेकर चले।
Hundreds of people also gathered at the Atari Wagah border in India's northern Punjab state to witness the annual Beating the Retreat ceremony on the occasion. A cacophony of patriotic slogans and cheering was witnessed as complicated and energetic synchronized drills were presented by India's Border Security Force and Pakistani Rangers at the India-Pakistan border.
Thousands of Indian farmers protesting against agricultural reforms breached barricades on Tuesday to enter the historic Red Fort complex in capital New Delhi and hoisted flags after clashing with police, who fired tear gas to restrain them. Tens of thousands of them have been striking on the outskirts of Delhi since November, demanding the laws be repealed. They rejected a government offer to put the laws on hold last week. Thousands of Indian farmers protesting against agricultural reforms breached barricades on Tuesday to enter the historic Red Fort complex in the capital and hoist flags after clashing with police. Farmers took out a Republic Day tractor rally to protest against the three contentious farm laws that the centre passed in September last year. Tens of thousands of them have been striking on the outskirts of Delhi since November, demanding the laws be repealed. Growers angered by laws they say help large private buyers at the expense of producers, posing one of the biggest challenges to Prime Minister Narendra Modi since he came to power in 2014.
तो काफ़ी लोग तो उस रास्ते से जा चले गए हैं, लेकिन कई ऐसे लोग हैं जिन्होंने यहाँ पे आके पुलिस पे पथराव किया है, पुलिस के बैरिकेड भी तोड़े हैं, हमारे कुछ आदमियों के ऊपर ट्रैक्टर चढ़ाने की कोशिश करी है, हमारे कुछ लड़के इंजर हुए हैं। तो इस प्रकार की जो चीज़ है, ये तो एक पीसफुल प्रोटेस्ट में नहीं होनी चाहिए।
आंदोलन 3 बिल, MSP पे कानून, ये आंदोलन वो है जो ट्रैक्टर परेड है, ये वो परेड है जब इनको खालिस्तान ने कहा, पाकिस्तान ने कहा। हम तिरंगे में विश्वास है, तिरंगा हमारी आन बान और शान है देश की, वो है। अब सरकार ये है कि अपना भाई काम करे, किसानों से बातचीत करे।
11 rounds of talks with farmers' unions have failed to end the protest as farm leaders rejected the government's offer to delay the laws for 18 months, making a push for repeal instead. Meanwhile, mobile internet services have been suspended in parts of Delhi as security forces scramble to restore order. In news from Pakistan, leaders of opposition Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz have refused to Pakistan People's Party Chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari's suggestion to initiate no-confidence motions against Prime Minister Imran Khan, local media said on Monday. As part of the opposition alliance anti-government campaign, Zardari had suggested the PDM bring no-confidence motions against the PTI governments at the centre and in the provinces last month.
Majority of opposition Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz or PMLN leaders have refused to Pakistan People's Party or PPE chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari's suggestion to initiate no-confidence motions against Prime Minister Imran Khan, local media said on Monday. The development came during a joint parliamentary meeting of PMLN leaders chaired by Vice President Maryam Nawaz. Last month, PPE chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari had suggested the PDM bring no-confidence motions against the PTI governments at the centre and in the provinces as part of the opposition alliance anti-government campaign. According to reports, members of PMLN have said a no-confidence motion would be contradictory to former Premier and Party Supremo Nawaz Sharif's stance. It is expected that Maryam will now present the party's stance on no-confidence motion before the Pakistan Democratic Movement or PDM, and the final decision will be taken by the 11-party opposition alliance.
Moving on, employees of the electricity department in Pakistan-administered Kashmir have continued to protest to demand technical allowance, which they say is being deliberately denied to them. They blame Pakistan of discrimination for systematically denying benefits, rights and resources to the people in the illegally occupied region.
The employees of electricity department in Pakistan-administered Kashmir recently held a sit-in protest to demand technical allowances, which they said is being deliberately denied to them. They blamed Pakistan, which claims the region of its own has given similar allowances to workers in its provinces, but has turned a blind eye to the demands of those working in its illegally occupied territory. A revenue of about 80 million rupees to be distributed as technical allowance has been a long-standing demand of electricity department employees. They said their demands have been ignored for years by the government in Pakistan-administered Kashmir that works at behest of Islamabad.
हमने आपको नोटिस दिया, इससे पहले 7 लेटर लिखे, हमारे पास लेटर मौजूद है, आपने हमारे साथ कोई बात न की, फिर हमने एहतजाज का नोटिस दिया है। उस नोटिस के ऊपर भी 15 दिन आपके पास थे, आप लोगों ने हल्का लिया, आप लोगों ने हमारी बात नहीं सुनी।
Locals have long blamed Pakistan has systematically denied benefits, rights and resources to the people of Pakistan-administered Kashmir for more than 7 decades of its illegal occupation.
In news from Afghanistan, a Taliban delegation visited Iran. Taliban spokesperson Mohammad Naeem informed on Tuesday to discuss relations between Iran and Afghanistan and the current political and security situation of Afghanistan and region. The trip comes a day after Afghan President Ashraf Ghani said that a new chapter has been opened in Kabul and Washington relations and that the United States sees Afghanistan fundamentally as a partner.
The Taliban's deputy leader Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar led a delegation that visited Iran, Taliban spokesman Mohammad Naeem said on Tuesday. Taking to Twitter, the spokesman said that the delegation will talk to Iranian officials about the relations between the two countries, the situation of Afghan refugees, and the current political and security situation of Afghanistan and the region. Baradar's trip comes a day after Afghan President Ashraf Ghani said a new chapter has been opened in Kabul and Washington relations, and that the United States sees Afghanistan fundamentally as a partner. President Ghani at a cabinet meeting on Monday stressed that the United States is reviewing the agreement it signed with the Taliban in February last year, and after a review, the US government will consult Kabul on finding a joint roadmap for the agreement. This comes as the Afghan peace negotiations that started in September last year have made progress in their procedural rules. They took a 3-month break and resumed their talks on January 6. However, the Afghan government and the Taliban's negotiators have not held any meetings over the last 13 days to discuss the agenda of the talks. Experts said the United States is expected to announce its stance on the Afghan peace process and the presence of NATO forces in Afghanistan at the ministerial meeting of the alliance next month.
Moving on to news from Nepal. Nepal's caretaker Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli was thrown out of the country's ruling Communist Party on Monday. His opponents said in protest at his abrupt decision in December to dissolve parliament and call for an early general election. On Monday, dozens of protesters who marched near Oli's residence to oppose the parliament's clash with police, who used water cannons and batons to break up the anti-Oli rally. Nepal police used water cannons on civil society activists who were protesting against the dissolution of parliament near Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli's residence in Bulavatar on Monday, leaving dozens injured. The activists were charged with batons and water cannons by police as they tried to march ahead. The protest march, which started from Kamal Pokri leading all the way to Bulavatar, was termed as Bulavatar March to drag the attention of Oli, urging him to correct his latest move of what they termed as defying the constitution.
हामीले कुनै बल प्रयोग गर्दैछौँ हामी साथीहरु ढुङ्गा पनि दिखेन तर जुन तरिकाले हामी माथि दमन भयो मेरो आफ्नै कुरा गर्ने हो भने अब तेस्रो जनआन्दोलन सुरु भयो
हाम्रो कुरो एउटै थियो 2072 को संविधानको रक्षा होस् र व्यवस्थाको रक्षा होस् तर रक्षा त तपाईले गेट लागू गर्नु भए रहेछ हामीलाई यहाँ रोकेर तपाईहरुलाई धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद हामीलाई रहर लाएर हामी हिडेको होइनौ हामीलाई बाध्य पारिएको छ नागरिकलाई.
The ruling Nepal Communist Party, following Oli's move to dissolve the parliament on December 20 last year, has broken into two factions fighting for legitimacy and election sign. Meanwhile, judges in the Himalayan country's top court are hearing more than a dozen petitions from independent lawyers and Oli opponents on whether the move was legitimate or unconstitutional. The court is expected to deliver its verdict next month. In news from Sri Lanka, a group of UN human rights experts have urged the Sri Lankan government to end its policy of forced cremation of the COVID-19 deceased, saying it ran contrary to the beliefs of Muslims and other minorities in the country and could foment existing prejudices, intolerance and violence. As of January 26, 287 COVID-19 related deaths were reported in Sri Lanka, with many deaths belonging to Muslim minorities. A group of UN human rights experts on Monday urged the Sri Lankan government to end its policy of forced cremation of Muslims who had died of coronavirus, saying it is contrary to Islamic and other minorities' beliefs. In a statement, UN Special Rapporteur on Freedom of Religion or Belief Ahmad Shahid, Fernand Varenes Special Rapporteur on Minority Issues, and Clement Wall, Special Rapporteur on Rights of Peaceful Assembly, said the practice could foment existing prejudices, intolerance and violence. The imposition of cremation as the only option for handling the bodies confirmed or suspected of COVID-19 amounts to human rights violation, said the experts. They noted there has been no established medical or scientific evidence in Sri Lanka or other countries that burial of dead bodies leads to increased risk of spreading communicable diseases such as COVID-19. As of January 26, 287 COVID-19 related deaths were reported in Sri Lanka, with many deaths belonging to Muslim minorities. Sri Lanka has approved the emergency use of Covishield vaccine, which is being manufactured by the Serum Institute of India and is expected to receive the vaccines this week. Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/AsAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @AsAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.